Hello, my name is Linda Langeheine. I live in Germany. I'm an American, but I live in Germany and have lived here since 1972. And welcome to my channel, Linda's Practice Quickies. The idea behind this is that I give you small tips and ideas for practicing yourself or helping your students or your children to practice and have a little bit more fun, and also for it to be effective. The first ones will be more childlike because that's my passion. I love to teach children, but I'm also an expert on teaching practice skills to professionals. So we'll get there to more advanced practice skills. So a question that I'm always asked by parents is, how do I get my kids to repeat? Repetition is the mother of skill, and repeating things that are difficult until they get easy is the basis of our work. So we have to get the children to learn that. It's a process, it's a learning process. They aren't going to sit down and say, oh, I just love to repeat these things, especially if it's hard. That's the best part. I do have students like that, and I go, yay! But I'd say in my career I've had about 5. So the rest we have to deal with and love just as much. So let me just give you an idea. One of my favorite tips for parents is this, a dice or a die. There's just one. And the idea is that if you have a difficult passage, then you have the child roll the dice, and then they count the number of eyes on it, and that's the time. That's how many times they repeat that passage. Of course, it's my job to hone down the passage a bit, what would be possible for them. So if it's too long, it's too much. But I do short things, and I tell them what we have to look for and what we're trying for. We're trying for perfection. Sometimes I'm just glad if they repeat it. I'm not saying 5 perfect times or 6 perfect times or 4 perfect times. Sometimes if they're very young, I just want them to play 4 times. So that's a great one. The parents love it. The kids say, let's get the guy die. Let's do that. Can we do that? And I happily get it out, of course. So that's one thing. Another thing that I like to use are puzzle pieces. I write the assignment on the back, like a scale or a certain way to practice. And by the time they're finished with their practice session, then they have put the whole puzzle together. That's one idea. Then another thing that has to do with repeating is, I've prepared this with the computer, but you can just spontaneously improvise several circles. I like 5 because I find that after about 3 repeats, the passage starts getting better, but the first 2 are really yucky. So I put 5 up here. By the time they get to 5 repeats, then it's pretty good, and it gives them the feeling of success. So the idea is they play a passage, and then I say, here's a pencil. Draw your face. How do you feel? How'd that go for you? And they can draw or they say, or no, neutral face, but at any rate, they write that in there. And then we repeat again and again, and each time they draw on a face saying how they feel and how it went for them. And after they're finished, I say, well, look, the faces have changed. They generally do. They generally don't stay a big frown. And then I say, now look, if you had stopped at the very beginning when it was really difficult, then you would never have gotten the feeling of success that you got after 5 repeats. And you would certainly not want to go back tomorrow and play that passage again. So we're getting you over the hurdle by repeating until you get pretty good at it. Then tomorrow, you'll probably only start about between here and here. And as the days go on, and with each repeat, you stay more in this happy area or even get happier. So they like to do that too. Another, if I can get my picture here, is a picture from a coloring book. And every time they do a passage, they get to color part of this clown or the balloon or something they want to color it from this picture. every time they play a passage. So you get to, if you say, well, this is passage A, let's see how many times you get to color for passage A. And you could do, this is passage A, this is passage B, this is passage C. And then they come back and bring you their picture at the next week in the next lesson. I even did this with a girl that was 13, and I thought, this is crazy. She's never going to want to do this. But I said, I know it's a crazy idea, but if you repeat something, I think you should get credit for it, even if it's just some color on a page. So if you feel like it, just color in a part of the picture when you've repeated a difficult passage. You sort of congratulate yourself. I never thought she would do it, but she came back and the whole picture was colored, and she was actually very pleased with herself. So, another win. Then the last little quickie for today is this template that I printed from the internet. It's a template for a board game, and I use it for lots of things, like, for instance, a countdown to a recital, so that they know, they can really actually feel and see how many days they still have to go. Or they mark off one of the little squares for a day of practice. They can also mark off a square for having repeated something that was particularly difficult. You can use this in a lot of ways, and I like to do that. Not every child will like every single one of these games. Doesn't matter, but if you have a whole arsenal of games, you will have a great time, and the kids will too. So I wish you the best and have fun with this.